Hello and welcome to the lesson. Success and Failure Stories of Famous Entrepreneurs Part 2. By the end of this lesson, you will be able to describe the success, failure stories of famous entrepreneurs. Describe and compare the differences between their skills and led to their successes or failures. Dev is senior to Sonia and Chris by 3 years. Dev struggled to set up his animation and multimedia firm, and recently he is doing well with his business. Sonia and Chris are impressed with his growth and thought of taking career advice from him. He tells them some motivational stories of success entrepreneurs who failed initially. Here is how he starts.
I read stories of successful entrepreneurs who failed and then became successful.
Oh, is it?
You know, due to poor grades in high school, Steven Spielberg was rejected from the University of Southern California 3 times. However, later he was awarded an honorary degree and became a trustee of the university. Now he's a director of more than 51 films and won 3 Oscars. Spielberg's repeatedly failed to deliver movies on time and under budget. Spielberg needed help, and he turned to his friend. Spielberg and Lucas were competitive peers, but in a humbling shift, Spielberg became an employee. It was quite an exercise in modesty for Spielberg to agree to take the second seat behind his friend. Unlike Spielberg, Lucas was known in Hollywood for staying within budget and maintaining a disciplined schedule. Despite his passion and drive, actors and crew liked him. It was exactly what Spielberg needed. He had someone to tell him no when necessary and to keep him on track. He also had someone to act as a guide and muse.
The same way as we needed you.
Here is another story of J.K. Rowling. Creating a book series was not an easy job. It would take years of perseverance to become the success she is today. Soon after convincing the idea of Harry Potter, Rowling began writing but was immediately pulled away by the devastating death of her mother. Rowling ceased working on the book and sank into a deep grieving depression.
Oh, that's so miserable. How did she come out of her grievance then?
To get out of grievance, she took a job teaching English in Portugal for a year. Her goal in venturing abroad was to get away from her troubles and, more importantly, use her time off to continue working on her book. She set the goal of having the first Harry Potter book done by the time she returned from Portugal. Not only did she fail to make progress on her first book, but after falling in and then out of love, she ended up with a failed marriage and a baby daughter she now had to raise alone. She came back to nothing. She had no job, no finished product, and 2 mouths to feed. As she struggled with depression, raising a child on her own and living off meager unemployment benefits, she resumed work on her book in cafes while her daughter was asleep.
Oh, that was so terrible.
She ended up in exactly the position she had feared most and found that it wasn't that bad. There wasn't anything left to be afraid of. Earlier, 12 publishers rejected the Harry Potter series. However, later it earned over $400 million in book sales. She was the first female to become a billionaire author.
What a well-deserved great success.
You need to understand the mistakes that you make and learn from those mistakes. Spielberg acknowledged there were things he did not do well and hence found himself a mentor. If you keep getting rejected, don't let that stop you. If you are working on something you believe in, do not give up. Who knows, you might end up breaking records.
Let's look at what we have learned from Dev's stories. When your skills do not give you good results, look for a guide or a mentor who can help you learn those. If you have a dream or a passion and you keep getting rejected, don't let that stop you.